Hello and welcome to Patrick's Models and Transport. Okay, so we're having a look at something completely different. So this evening I wanted to do a video on refitting the motor to the Rivarossi tram, but then I realized I have to also clean some other parts with the fiberglass pencil. I had cleaned the motor mounts and screws. Fiberglass pencil is one of these very dirty things that even if you're very careful, you always get strands of fiberglass all over your trousers and things. In fact, now I'm going to have to clean myself very well. Anyway, so that I'll do that tomorrow. I'm going to have it. I'll be looking at the Rivarossi tram tomorrow, and then I'll also be working on the rail car. So this evening, this is just a very quick video to present this model and to give you an overview of what I'm actually going to do. As you know, the channel is called Patrick's Models and Transport because, of course, trains are maybe one of my biggest passions, but I enjoy modelling of all types. I also like to build model kits. I like to repair die-cast models and improve die-cast models, and in this case here we have a Welly. This is a Chinese built model of an Austin FX4 taxi, the typical black cab. And you'll notice that the taxi sign is missing, so this is missing. This is a 1/36 scale model. It's very well made because it got very good proportions. I could show you, but we'll do a comparative video of FX4 models. We'll do another video, so I'm not doing that now. The proportions are correct, the height is correct, the length, the width, everything gives you the correct image of the FX4 taxi. Now, I was born and grew up in part in Glasgow, and spent a lot of my holidays in Glasgow, and so seeing these on the road was a thing of everyday life. So, and I've always liked the black cab. I've always liked the typical British taxi. And consequently, I have quite a few in my collection, starting from my toy dinky one from when I was a kid. And but we'll talk about that in another video. So what am I going to do with this? So first of all, this model was bought second-hand. It has a slightly sort of sagging front bumper. That's the only defect it's got. But it could be a sort of, in use, appearance of the vehicle. Maybe it got a dent in traffic. And as I was saying, the model is very realistic. The wheels are very well made. The hubcaps are very well made. They really give you the impression, the typical Austin hubcaps that the Austin FX4 was fitted with. Of course, this is a later version. It doesn't have the A for Austin badge on it. I actually have one of those hubcaps. Found it in the street in Glasgow years ago. It had flown off a taxi. Anyway, the taxi, I bought this model second-hand on Vinted, which is a platform, second-hand clothes and second-hand anything platform, which is very popular here in Europe. And it has opening front doors, which makes it very nice. Excuse me. It's very, very dusty inside. I don't know if you can see how filthy it is inside. It's really, really dusty. In fact, I'm putting a spot of, I'm filling in the light. Let's see. Look at this dust in here. But the interior is very realistic. So we're going to dismantle this together. This manual gearbox one. So it's definitely a Glasgow one, because in Glasgow these taxis were mainly manual gearboxes. In Glasgow they used to buy second-hand taxis from London. In fact, you would quite frequently see taxis with English registrations, and particularly London registrations. And in London, the black cabs were mostly automatic. Glasgow is built on 11 rather steep hills, so automatics were not really a great idea, and so they would get their automatic gearboxes taken out and manuals put in. And that way, I remember chatting to cabbies when I was a student and when I was in Glasgow. And so my idea is to make a Glasgow cab out of this. So first of all, I'll have to remake the taxi sign at the top here, the taxi lantern, because that's missing. And I'll have to see how to make that, to get the right dimensions. This is 136, so we're going to have to do some sums. I can model it from other, just to get the overall dimensions from other models of FX4 taxis that I have, both the dinky one and another 160 scale Welly that I have as well. So we'll have a look at them in an upcoming video. I also have a 143 scale taxi, which is okay, but the proportions are not as good as this. Welly also makes the FX4 in 124 scale, which I would actually quite like. Something I would quite like for my collection, but 124 is also it takes up a lot of space, and I don't have much space, that's the thing. I would also like to build a model kit. Tammy, I think, made a very good model kit of the taxi. It's something that has always fascinated me. Anyway, so we're going to have to get this rebuilt and dismantle it, clean it well. All the chrome is correct. We'll have to also paint the front indicators here, the side repeater indicators, and what would be nice, but I think it'll be very, very difficult to obtain working on this scale, and I've no idea how to do it. Glasgow cabs were very decorated. They would have some kind of very fine, like floral lining here on the side of the cab, here. And they had they were lined out. Glasgow's taxis were lined out with sort of gold line and gold leaf and things. We can actually, I might manage to assemble a video with photographs of Glasgow taxis, just to give you an idea, and that would be what I'd like to do. I'll of course fit it with Glasgow registrations, which will be actually quite easy. Being this is a taxi, it'll have white plates at the front, yellow plates at the back. That's quite easy to obtain because I have decals, laser print decals, which print black and white. Of course, the laser printer prints black and white, but I can paint the front number plate white, the background white, the rear number plate yellow, and then just put the decals on. So that's easy done. Mainly I'm thinking how to do these, how to line it out, because that would be really, really, really interesting. So that's it for the moment. We'll start work on this as soon as I finish. Definitely the tram, because I want to finish the tram, because I also want to give it back to my friend Nicola, who has kindly lent it to the channel. And I want to finish a tram and begin work, go on with the rail car. But we'll be looking at this in parallel. So, maybe the next video, I've not got time to work either on the tram or on the rail car. We'll just dismantle this together and clean it and have a good look and see how it's made inside. And so let me know what you think about this. If you also like road transport models, if you like the British black cab, the typical British taxi, I love these. I can just hear the rattling diesel engine. These taxis, will also make a potted history video about it once we finish it. In origin, I had the Austin engine. Now I don't remember the series right now. Diesel engine. Then with the Fairway model. Sorry, not the Fairway. Then at one point they received the Land Rover engine, but it was an absolute flop because the Land Rover engine was not up to the stresses of taxi work, and it was an utter disaster. And I remember being told this by a taxi driver I had made friends with way back in 1999 in Glasgow. And so many people, they started re-importing the Austin engines that were, the production lines had been transferred to India, and they were re-importing and making re-engine version taxis from parts that were then given Q registrations. We'll talk about the Q registrations as well. And then the Fairway model came out with the Nissan diesel engine, and suddenly the FX4 became a flyer. It really became a flyer because the Nissan diesel natural aspirated engine is a very, very good, strong, lots of torque and a good speedy engine. And eventually the next step in evolution was to improve the brakes and fit disc brakes at the front. This is a version with the drums front and rear, and so they got a completely different profile wheel, much wheels that were more similar to van wheels, the kind of wheels you would see on, I don't know, a Ford Transit van with twin wheels, twin tires at the back. So that was the final evolution of the FX4 in its fairway declination with the Nissan diesel engine. So we'll talk about that in upcoming videos. So this is a different project, and I don't think I've really done a car project, a proper car project, apart from presenting some buses since I started the channel. We will also be talking about some other models as well that I've got up there, still taxis, in this case Italian ones, and some other die-cast models. So I am a collector of die-cast models, and I really enjoy fixing them, enjoy doing jobs on them and improving them. So that's that. I'll have to get this taxi back on the road because there's lots of business in the taxi service. Cheerio, and see you next time, and let's drive this taxi out of the camera. Ciao, ciao.